Hey y'all, what it is, bitch. Okay, so I'm just feeling nostalgic because, bitch, in a month and a half, well, less than a month and a half, I'll be 30, the big 3-0, okay? On July 12th, a bitch turns 30, okay? And I can't fucking handle it, bitch. My brain is going through all these different things that happened in my 20s that were tragic, that were toxic, that were traumatic. And I had to share it, bitch. I have to make some story time, some nostalgic story times about my horrible dates, my horrible things that happened to me in my 20s, and here's one of them, okay? And if you guys want more, tell me, okay? Because, bitch, I have to get this off my chest. And a lot of these things happened before I divested, okay? So most of these stories are from when I was still drinking and when I was still dating niggas. Okay, so mind you. So, okay, yeah. So I'm going down memory lane in my head this morning because I'm like getting all nostalgic and shit because it's June. And I remember back when I was 24, it was in 2018. I remember this shit. I went out on a date with one of the ugliest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. He reminded me of Rick Ross. He was a fat, black ass, ugly ass nigga. Just, I would have never went out with him. We didn't really date. We only went out on a few dates, but I would have never went out with this motherfucker in the first place if I wasn't under the influence, okay? So this was back in 2018. It was the end of 2018, so it was like, yeah, I was kind of looking for someone to snuggle with for the fall, and I was desperate because I was still getting over my breakup, and it was just, and my break, it was a shitty time for me mentally in the head. I was just not there. I was just drunk and just not there in the head, really. And he took advantage of it in an odd way. So here's what happened. So we went to this nice restaurant that had lots of nice fancy drinks. I had a lot of them, and I don't remember how much he drank, but I do remember he smoked on the way to the fucking restaurant. Really, really classy. Okay, he smoked some damn weed on the way to the restaurant. Really fucking classy, sir. And he knew I was on my cycles, and I remember back then I used to always like to go on dates when I was on my period because I didn't want nobody to try me. Okay, so but in this date, this was different. I actually remember I made a video about this back in 2018, but let me just talk about it again because, bitch, I see it in a whole different light now. Back then I thought it was funny. Now I find it disgusting. And okay, so after dinner, he had picked me up in a big Suburban, which is a huge truck, right? After dinner, he had asked me, do you want to go to a hotel for more privacy? I'm like, no, I just want to go home. He's like, well, don't you want some dessert after what we ate and you drank a lot? Don't you want some dessert? And I'm like, what? I don't need some fucking dessert. I want to go home and go to sleep, nigga. Like, what the hell? So basically he's like, well, I'll get you something to relax. I'm like, I'm not trying to smoke with you. Like, I've never been a weed smoker. I'm like, I'm not trying to smoke with you. What are you talking about? So basically he starts to pull down my underwear, y'all. And he knows I'm on my period because I remember mentioning it because I was like, yeah, he ain't getting none because I'm on my period. Then he's like, I don't care if you're bleeding. I don't care. I'm like, what? He starts to go to town on my coochie while it was bleeding. Mind you guys, I didn't have a tampon. I was wearing a pad. And he was just licking away like nothing was wrong with it. It was disgusting. One of the worst things that's ever happened to me on a date. And then I'm gonna have the nerve to be like, you want to suck it? I'm like, no, I want to go home. He takes me home, thank God. But it was like the weirdest thing. In my mind at the time, being drunk, being contact high, I think in my head I was like, this is funny. This guy is so thirsty, he want to eat me out on my period. But me now at almost 30, that was a horrible experience. I'm like, and for you motherfuckers who like to say that white men are so gross and black men, because I've heard this before so many times on Instagram, on any platform that tries to make black women who date white men out to be disgusting because white men are into freaky shit and they're gross. I've never had a white man try to eat me out on my period or try to force eating me out on my period. No, I've never had that happen to me with a white man, okay? White men are still cleaner. White men are still more superior. White men still are better, okay? Okay? Yeah, so most of these stories I'm going to mention in my coming videos are going to be from before I divested and before I got sober. So before I turned, because when I was 27 was when I got divested and when I got sober. So back in 2022 is when I, stopped dating these niggas for good. But yeah, when I was 24, y'all, I was fucked in the head. I was drunk all the time. I was still going through a breakup. and depressed and just using alcohol and ugly niggas to satisfy my weird. Anyway, I was all fucked up in the head. And this motherfucker pulled down my panties, went to town on me, ate me out while I was bleeding. And y'all say that, but white men are nasty. Black men are nasty as fuck, okay? And thirsty as fuck. They will do anything for a crumb of coochie and attention, okay? Disgusting. Anyway, y'all, let me know if y'all want to hear some more tragic throwback stories of my 20s, okay? And I'm only wearing this bikini, bitch, because I'm gonna go see my mans later, and I was trying it on, and we were gonna go to a pool. But anyway, bye, y'all.